evening, SFL Nation. Welcome to week 3 of the season 25 of the Simulation Football League. We are here live at the Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore, where the Vultures host the defending champs Mexico City Aztecs. Both teams coming off of a bye week, coming off of a first week loss at the convention, trying to change the narrative here in week 3. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Mark Lopez, and it is my honor to share the booth with the one and only Steven Monax. Steven, it's great finally calling a game with you. What do you think are the keys to victory to this game?
Well, thank you, Doctor. I appreciate it. Yes, this game is going to be a class. I think it's going to be an instant classic. These two teams have met 15 times, with Baltimore, particularly at home, really winning the series. But last season, the road to the championship for Mexico City went through Baltimore, and the Aztecs pulled out a victory. So this is a good rematch after splitting the series between these two teams last season. For me, the key to this game, Mark, it's going to be turnovers. Each one of these quarterbacks in their week 1 loss, they threw 4 interceptions each, and that really was the difference maker. So that's what we need to watch for tonight.
So on stats joined the broadcast booth are Slynn and Justin Reside. And thank you everyone for joining us. The game starts here. We'll see how Mexico City tries to turn the tide of their offense. Coming off of a 4 interception game, as you mentioned, Steven here. This is actually going to be Jordan Sipe rolling out with his offense. We're going to take a first look at this Aztecs offense on the road, and at least for Baltimore, having an 87% win ratio at home. So it's going to be a tall task here for Mexico City. Here, first down and 10 at around the 27-yard line. Jordan Sipe with 3 wideouts and a tight end. Single back formation. Baltimore with a nickel look. It's going to be a passing first down. Jordan Sipe tries to throw down the middle, and he's going to make a connection at his very first play. Who else but to Bill Henry, the tight end, as Mike Dags likes to say, Steven, throw it to the tight end.
Yeah, and this quarterback side, not afraid to attack tight windows. And here in double coverage, able to find his target. Just cool, calm, and relaxed. 2 championships, it'll settle you down.
That was Bill Henry, the tight end. Jordan Sipe, the quarterback. Rest of the offense are Jacob Morrison, Ray Bentley, and Buford Van Dam, the running backs. Wide receivers, Jason Bartley, Honus Autoby, Noe Terrazas, and Jared Dumas. First down again, pass to midfield. Here's a throw once again. Tried to look for Jason Bartley, but incomplete. Baltimore with a good deflection there.
Yeah, Roy Towers able to come in and really break it up, but the ball was in the receiver's hands. Just a lot of contact there, and the receiver just couldn't hold on to the ball.
3 wide receivers now in the I spread formation. Jordan Sipe might look to throw. He will. Short step back towards the right side and incomplete again to Bartley, and again Steven incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear they have come out throwing the ball. They haven't run the ball yet in this series. They clearly think that they can have an advantage over Baltimore through this air attack. And so far, it's got them to midfield, but a critical third down here, Mark.
Empty type formation. 5 wideouts. Jordan Sipe looking to throw deep. He's going to run, going to take it with his legs. He almost makes it. 1 yard shy from a first down.
Boy, you'd like to see maybe a block there by the receiver to get his quarterback just enough space to get that first down, but a good job by the defender cutting him off. Now, we've talked about Jordan Sipe's air attack here. He also has the legs and likes to do the quarterback sneak. Not able to get the first down there, though.
Almost with the first down, and good point there, Steven. And Jordan Sipe's running all of last season had a grand total of 225 rushing yards, averaging 6.6. He led the league in average yards per carry last season, and right there, almost picking up 10. But now it's Baltimore's offense on the field here. First down, single back, 3 wide receivers, and what looks like the halfback in a fullback formation. Here's a deep step back, short throw to the side, and that's a completion for about 8 yards.
Yeah, and they put Jackson Roberts in the backfield and had him do just a nice little go route out of the backfield, found him wide open. Essentially what's a successful run, 8 yards on first down. And now you've got a great opportunity here, 2nd and 2.
Good chance here for a run. They're going to hand it off here. Run to the outside with a lead blocker. Good first down completion. That was Warren Murray for Baltimore. Let's introduce you to their offense. Jack Wigmore, the quarterback. Johnny Kim, quarterback 2. Running backs are Warren Murray, David Anderson, and T. Roy Gaines. Wide receivers are Ivory Irvin, Roger Dinero, and Mac Chima. And the tight ends are Benji Matson and Jackson Roberts. First down here at their 23-yard line. Wigmore to throw again to his right, wide open in the corner route. He gets a first down and more. Great route running by Benji Matson. We talked about this pregame. Steven, Dr. Teapat thinking Benji Matson might have a breakout game tonight.
Yeah, and he'd be the one to know, right? He's the one orchestrating and actually, dissecting the defense at this moment. But as the offensive coordinator, he is getting and scheming his guys wide open there. Matson just finds himself, as you mentioned, on the corner route, right in between the zone. And absolutely, that's what you want to do. You want to get those good opportunities for your players and your playmakers to make plays.
Hand up down the middle for first down at the Mexico territory. Picks up about 4 yards. That is T. Roy Gaines.
You talked about T-Pat talking about Benji Matson. He also said T. Roy Gaines is someone that he was eyeing to have a big game in this one tonight. And clearly, as we've seen back-to-back plays here, both of those names come up.
Another handoff, early contact there, allowing for a cleanup by the linebackers of Mexico City. Let's introduce you to Mexico City's defense while they're still in the field. Defensive line are Saron Yates IV, Skylar Kingsley, Chance Wall, and Dan Schritz. Linebackers are John Fowler, Qualson Ulia, John Osiris. Your DBs are Gerard Brody, Miranda Dumas, Liam Ryan, Merrick Itera. Safeties are Jeffrey Dax and Max Jack. Here comes the third down to throw, looking deep, and that's deflected. Great deflection by Merrick Itera, and Mexico City forcing a fourth down against Baltimore.
Yeah, Itera, one of the more dangerous defenders in this league. Had that one squared up the entire way, just couldn't complete the catch, but ideal there. A driving Baltimore team that had a wide open, big game for Benji Matson. You were able to hold them on fourth down and stop them from being in field goal territory.
So great defensive stops by both teams. You have yet to see a turnover, Steven, but maybe that's for the benefit of both teams, but still no points on the board. Mexico City gonna take their second shot here, but they're starting inside the 12-yard line. You think with their pass offense so far that they can get out the shadow of their end zone?
Yeah, I would, we talked to their coach as well, Mike Daggs, and he thought Ray Bentley might have a big game. This is not where you call his number.
He does. It's a toss play, but Baltimore quick on the stop there. That was number 28, Ray Bentley indeed, but the surging linebackers in the backfield almost instantly.
Yeah, and you got to play mind games here. Typically when you're in the shadow of your own end zone, the defenses know you're going to try to run the ball, and they're keyed up for that.
And look
you
at
are
this.
The wrong one.
we got a wild Eddie Gage in the booth. But we're going to go back to this game as Jordan Side tries to throw to a wide receiver on the right side. Deflected and defended well by Baltimore's linebacker. Let's introduce you to their defense. You got Robert Brady, Al Walker, Ralph Leopold, and Nat Brown on the line. Linebackers Frank Smith, Jeff Milinishin, and Alvin Mack. Cornerbacks are Ben Stackenpaper, Elijah Warfield, and Roy Dowers. And two strong safeties in Young Vaught and Giovanni Bolt. Bunch formation, rollout by Jordan Saib. Throws to the middle of the wide open receiver. That's number 87, Jared Dumas. Their bread and butter of a play that roll out to the weak side, throwing to three receivers running some kind of post route.
Yeah, they absolutely love this play, and a lot of teams in the league really do. But credit Dumas here for the yards after catch, that yak. I mean, he breaks 2 tackles and gets that extra 5 yards. And what does that do, Mark? That just gives them a little bit more breathing room, now set just past their own 30. And maybe they can start opening up this running game a little bit more.
We'll see if they do, and they do. It's a handoff. It's down the middle. They do pick up, they'll say, a yard. I think that looked like number 28, Ray Bentley
It
again.
was. Yeah,
But
yeah.
good stuff nonetheless.
Good stop, and these defenses have come to play. And we're just seeing them really. It feels like two teams that are just testing the waters with each other, seeing what works and what doesn't early.
There's another empty set by Mexico and the offense, and great catch. What a catch there. One-handed by Noah Terrazas. Incredible. We know this player as an incredible player all the way from last season, Stephen.
Yeah, and in week one, nearly had 100 yards despite the loss. But we talked to Baltimore, and Baltimore's defense said that they knew that they needed to watch wherever Noe is. They have got to have at least two people on him to try and cover him. They're really keen on him tonight, and still, as you saw there, not able to defend against that perfect pass.
Yeah, it was on man coverage. He just beat the man. Here's the toss play to the outside. Mexico City will pick up 6 yards. That is once again Bentley, a similar toss play that Baltimore saw plenty of in their week one loss to Vancouver, who pulled a lot of that toss plays out of bunch.
Yeah, and you know very well about that when you were leading that offense over there in Vancouver. But Vancouver, they did a little bit different. They did it with the fullback mainly. So they were bringing a lot of power behind that run. And there, as you saw, stopped a little short there.
The eye jokers. It's going to be a handoff to the left side. Little twist there by the Mexico defense, as we know they tend to like to throw out of that formation there, Steven.
Yeah, and again, trying to show one look and do the opposite. And that's been a key to a lot of success in this league, trying to show front that maybe like this, you would expect a run to come out of a jumbo, but maybe they throw the ball.
They will throw the ball. Good call there, Stephen, and good call by Mexico too, as they find who else but Noah Terrazas on the good in route for the first down.
Give Jordan Sipe a lot of credit here, able to deliver the ball like a pillow, man, just pillowy soft touch over the middle of the field. His receiver giving him a nice big window too, cutting in front of the defender, essentially like a basketball player rebounding, just blocking out the defender and allowing his quarterback just a nice open window. And man, it's just pitch and catch for those two.
Showing why those 3 trophies and their uniform is valid with a great play there. Another pass play here by Sipe makes it a swing pass. Looking for his halfback Bentley again, but Bentley, besides the 1 5-yard carry, has been struggling to gain any yards at all tonight.
Yeah, but I wouldn't expect him to go away from 28. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. And they're going to continue to give him the ball. They should do that. They should give these running backs every opportunity to wear this defense down.
Whoa, we saw a linebacker break away into the backfield, and it's a loss of 1 as this Baltimore defense is surging.
That was Jeff Malinchin that just went right past the running back and almost made me really kind of eat my words there. But no, he was an absolute missile. And boy, if he would have connected, that would have been rough.
3rd and long, and the hit as he throws the ball. Jordan Sipe unable to make anything happen, and boy, that was scary as well. It was in the hands of the defender. Could have been a pick, but just drops safely onto the turf.
And you could feel it, right, Mark, that Baltimore turning up the pressure on that defense, just attacking just a little bit more, turning up their speed, getting in the quarterback's face and affecting that pass.
Well, when the dust settles, Mexico City able to drive the ball to field goal range, and that is the first points of the ball game. 3-0 for Mexico City. What a drive. Still, what a stop by Baltimore in defense, but both teams are looking like they have everything on the table right now.
Well, and their defenses are really playing well here in the first quarter. Let's see if that loosens up as the game goes on. But I think if you're Mexico City, you're happy with the 3 points in the sense that it just looks like these defenses have been clamping down on these offenses, particularly outside of that red zone.
Good return here to about the 30-yard line. We'll see a flag on the play. Face mask. Ooh. And against Mexico, this ball is going to move forward. They're going to start at their 38-yard line. Decent field position here, Stephen. This is about only a 62 yards to the end zone for Baltimore.
Yeah, if you're on the road, you're Mexico City, you know, you've got everything against you. You've got the crowd against you. You've got Baltimore against you. You don't need the refs against you, too. And you don't need to shoot yourself in the foot with penalties like that. Great field position.
Wigmore to throw it first down here. Throws to the corner route again. Or it could look like a fade route, but incomplete this time. And Again, Merrick Itera there in the deflection.
Yeah, I don't know. Testing Itera, that's something they've done a couple of times here, and man, that's one of the guys maybe in this league that you want to stay away from. If we've got any Revis Island type players, Itera might be that kind of player, but Baltimore unafraid.
Itera with 5 interceptions last season, still nothing this season. 1 week. Here's a throw down the middle. That's good for a first down. Just a nice, short dump pass route to number 40. That is to the tight end again, Benji Matson.
Yeah, that's a lot of beef that you're talking with number 40 there. I mean, look at him. It's just a monster physically. Yeah, and look, that was not a first down until he turned up the field and carried 2 defenders with him across that first down marker. So a lot of benefits to a guy that big, catching the ball, being able to catch the ball, athletic to do that, but also the power behind those legs to push for that first down.
Pass again against Mexico City's 3 linebacker. Look, and that's a pick! He throws a pick down the middle. Mexico City gets the ball rolling on the interception party with Max Jackson picking up his first interception of the season.
Yeah, and look, Max Jackson, a legend in this league, has been doing this a long time. That's why you kind of have to try to stay away from the middle of the field, because this guy's an absolute ball hawk. And one of the many reasons why that this Mexico City team is back-to-back champions. They have, if not one of the best secondary in the SFL.
I would agree to that. He made the All-Star last season. He was definitely recognized for the great achievements he has in the position as a strong safety, and showing there right again why he is a beast on defense. But now Jordan Sipe again leading the team in offense. Throw to the outside and both quarterbacks testing the number 1 cornerbacks of either opposing defense, as this time thrown to Elijah Warfield.
Yeah, I mean, I think more. Maybe they not necessarily sensing that these teams are weak in the backfield, but the sense that these defenses are just playing really well right now. They are in these passing lanes. They are anticipating where the ball is going on both sides. What
I enjoy so far here, Steven, is where the quarterbacks are throwing. It's been spread out over the field, as you see here, a completion to number 13 to Rosas again, but he's been throwing, Jordan's have been throwing left, right, down the middle, spreading the ball all around. Yeah, they're just trying to find those openings. And, like in a secondary, like Baltimore has, you got to take advantage of those openings, like the one in the zone that you saw there. Now, Terrazas, just his physical presence, his height, but also his speed allow him to get into that hole, getting past the first defender, but underneath the second. One of the fastest in the league at 6'6". Here's Bentley, unable to get much here. In fact, refs say it's again a 0. Almost looked like a loss there in yards. Running in the SFL, especially in the first and second quarters, is a lot about planting those seeds. You are still continuing to pound the rock, hoping that it'll benefit you in the second half and really tire that defense out. So you can't give up on it. Mexico again in this offset halfback formation. Short step back, but taken this time. Jordan side throws, and again, Terrazas. Jordan let his receiver run the route, and it paid off. Well, give a lot of credit to the offensive line. Look at them. Absolutely stonewall the defenders. They're giving Terrazas enough time to run that very lengthy route. And you talked about Jordan Sipe attacking all different kind of angles on the field, but he's certainly got one number in mind when he's out there looking. So far, it's been all Terrazas so far in this first quarter. Empty set here is the first time we see this alignment from Mexico City. Some kind of trips open, but they're going to bunch 4 wide receivers to the left here. Short step back throws, wide open again, and just the seam vertical routes have been working wonders for them here, Steven. Well, you're just giving Baltimore a lot of targets to cover, and then the one guy that goes on that 9 route, it just seems to be wide open between the front of the defense and the back of the defense. We have fireworks here to end the first quarter. Mexico City up 3-0, and here Dax Droneworks here, coverage of today's game, provided by Dax Droneworks, air photography and videography services for real estate, events, marketing, and more. Learn more at daxdroneworks.com. Great look here in Baltimore as we start the second quarter. Mexico City up 3-0. Look at this, the yards comparison, 145 yards to 66, and knocking on the door of the end zone here, Steven.
Yep, but the score just up by 3 despite the difference in yardage.
Looking to add here, at least 3 points are going to be put on the board, barring a turnover. You can smell the end zone. First and goal at the 10. Pitch to the outside. Barkley breaks the tackle, spins, and he runs all 10 to the end zone. He set 1 yard to carry, make it 10 for 6 points on the board.
I love it, Mark. They pitch out to Bentley, and they just make it about being one-on-one with one defender is able to break that roll out of that and then give the receiver that was blocking a lot of credit, able to get the first block, spin off, and get a second block that really puts Bentley in the end zone.
And Steven, you were talking about the Noah Terraza show. It is still the Noah Terraza show. He made that block. Wow. What a beast of a player, playing all roles. Catcher, blocker, and then of course Ray Bentley to cap off the drive that started off of Max Jackson's interception. Yes. What a showing, what a game plan that Mexico City has put up so far this game.
And what a game plan they've had for the last 2 seasons. I mean, able to, right now they're up 10-0, but really a big game against this same Vultures team in the playoffs last season. Despite Baltimore coming in last season with a record of 10-2, and Mexico City somewhat struggling with an 8-4 record, still proving they had what it takes in the playoffs and to win the championship. So is anybody surprised by this early outcome? No. But anytime that you can come into Baltimore where it's nearly impossible to win and be up on them here, 10 points in the second quarter, it's a win.
But now we see Baltimore trying to answer back here to start the first play, a pitch play, picking up 9 yards. What a carry by the fullback, Leroy Gaines. One of the players that, Coach Teepat said to keep an eye out for. We definitely know the lengths and the heights that he can achieve, the Hall of Famer.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, how can a Hall of Famer be underrated? But I think he has been the last couple of seasons. But it's almost like he's been waiting in reserve, kind of like waiting to pick his times. And I think Coach Teepat has made this one of his times. Sneak.
Ooh, wow. Quarterback sneak, taking something off of the playbook of Mexico City. And they do the quarterback sneak for first down and more. And look who does the quarterback sneak. It's this quarterback to Johnny Kim.
There you go. I mean, that's, one of the things, one of the more unusual things is having 2 quarterbacks on the roster. And you want to try to get that second quarterback involved. What kind of specialties do they have? And what makes them different maybe and sets them aside? And it's his legs.
Here's Wigmore to throw. It's a short pass, and it's no forward gain. In fact, it's a yard loss for 2.
A lot of credit to the defensive line there for Mexico City. Saron Yates, Chance Wall, Dan Tritz, able to get good penetration. Made the quarterback there very uncomfortable, as you can see in that play.
Second and very long. Throw again to the outside, but a broken tackle. Can he get more? He does. What a play. He's going. Can anyone catch him? Yes. They forced him out of bounds, but nobody could stop the receiver. Was that number 87 with the catch? I didn't quite get the number, but what a play by Baltimore. And Wigmore finding his man. Was he here in the replay? No, that's number 84. That is Regio Dinero, of course, with an incredible play, breaking the first tackle there. Wow.
Well, he Houdini'd the whole defense there, it seemed like. There was 2 defenders there to tackle him, and suddenly he disappeared and then appeared running down the field. It's just a magic show happening on the sidelines there, and those are the kind of plays that you're going to need from Baltimore to strike back on this Mexico Aztecs team.
Magician, a tightrope walker as he towed the line of the out-of-bounds line. Baltimore here at first down gives a handoff for only a 2-yard gain, and I still can't get over the fact that Mexico City couldn't bring down Dinero the previous play.
Yeah, that's going to be one. If this one's in the highlight package, that's got to be one of them.
Here we go in the I Joker spear formation for Baltimore. Gonna throw out of it, and it's gonna be deflected. Good decision to throw downfield where Mexico City had 3 linebackers, but no opening.
Here's what I'm seeing, Mark, on both sides of the ball with a lot of these passes. The receivers, the quarterbacks are getting the ball to in an area where the receivers can get their hands on it or it's within arm's length. These defenders are just doing a good job of knocking it away.
They sure do, and they make it hard for either quarterback to make those passes. Wigmore to throw again out of bunch here. He'll throw down the middle and once again deflected. That middle portion of the defense from Mexico is basically a traffic jam.
And I think it was a traffic jam because of the motion. The motion, you know, as an offensive coordinator, you know this, Mark. Sometimes those motions can get a little mind-boggling. And in that sense, that motion actually put two receivers, two defenders in the same area. And it's that meshing of routes that really hurt that play. And
so once again, Baltimore gets close. You know, they get to Mexico City's territory here, Steven, but once again, having to punt the ball. And Mexico's looking once again down the barrel of a potentially 80-yard drive.
Well, good on, obviously, Mexico City's defense for holding them and stopping them from an opportunity to respond with points. But now, Baltimore, you place yourself in a very dangerous situation that you could be down even more than you are.
First and down at the 9-yard line. Baltimore Bentley again breaks a tackle. Bentley at the 30, at the 35. He is unleashed. The beast is in motion, and Baltimore is shook. He got a taste of that end zone on the last series, and he wants more. You can tell there. You know, how many times, Mark, in this league have we seen if the running back is able to break that first tackle, it normally results in a big play, and it looked like Bentley was wide open there. Good job for the defender to hustle and bring him down, but man, that looked like a wide open run for Bentley. And we'll see here out of the bunch play if we get another toss play. It is a toss play to the outside. This time it's, sorry, not Bentley, it's Morrison. He's going to pick up a loss here, but you kind of see the game plan there, Steven. They like those outside runs where Baltimore was slow to defend all of week one. Well, remember, they initially didn't. They initially came out throwing the ball, and now they've started to work in the run, and I think those seeds that we talk about, that they're starting to give fruit here. And those seeds are bearing fruit as another pass down the middle. It's looking all Mexico City as Bill Henry picks up another catch to his name. That's third of the catch for the game for 66 yards. Yeah, and there's just nobody in the middle of the field of that coverage. And it looked like the tight end was just running to open daylight. And look, it's just this Mexico offense, it just seems they have relaxed into this. Now, everything is open up. The big runs on the running game, obviously. Big passes for air attacks. Little swing pass here. Yeah, a little screen pass. Could be a swing pass as well, but Morrison contributing to the pass play, picking up another first down. Basically, they've been doing first downs, 3 first downs in 4 plays. They have been very aggressive in this drive. And offensive coordinator Mike Daggs doing a great job of really orchestrating that swing pass, getting the defense noticing it's lopsided, able to get his running back involved through the air. Ooh, a pitch play this time, stopped by the defender. That is number 93, defensive end Al Walker. Hawkeye on that play and puts a stop to that pass or run. Yeah, and look, Baltimore's asking their defense to step up. They need a stop here. They're already teetering on field goal range. They need something big here, some more tackles for loss if possible. Out here again in the doubles formation. And it looks to be a pass here as they are 12 yards deep from the first down. Sype waiting, throwing, open. Bill Henry breaks a tackle. He finds pay dirt. It's the end zone. It's another 6 for Mexico. Well, we've talked a lot about Terrazas in this game. The other name that has cropped up a lot, Bill Henry. And this has just been magical. You would think a former tight end would get in his tight end as now the offensive coordinator, get his tight end, make sure that he's plenty involved. And they're just a post route, right? Again, we're seeing it into that middle of that defensive secondary. And typically, you know, Baltimore's secondary has been elite, but here just missing in action. And that lone safety might be the key to Mexico City taking advantage of the defense here, as the extra point is good, putting Mexico City up 17-0, pouring on the paint on Baltimore. Baltimore's going to find something to answer back here, Steven.
Yeah, and if there is a team that can do that, it's Baltimore. They've been doing it for years. Literally, me and you marveled at how in the pregame talks about how Baltimore, as the Vultures, has never had a losing season, and to think that they could possibly start 0-2, it's mind-boggling here. But if you're going to do so, doing so to the champs, I know it's early in this game. There's no shame in that, obviously, because they're a chance for a reason. But you just don't expect Baltimore to be on the bad end of something like 17-0 here in the second quarter.
And the last time Baltimore started 0-2 was all the way back in season 21. Granted, they ended up in the championship anyway, Steven, that they eventually lost, but still, haters might say 0-2, panic button for Baltimore. I don't think anyone in that locker room or front office is panicked, even if the result here ends up being what the score is.
Well, let's also put it in perspective. Who have they played the first 2 weeks? They played Vancouver. They played Mexico City. Those two teams just happened to be in the championship game. So, yeah, their 10-2 record was great last season, but it also earns them some tough opponents.
And see right here, they can do the big stuff too. They can do the big running, as Warren Murray picks up a first down and plenty more, an almost 20-yard carry. And they're not out of this. We're only in the second quarter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. They're not pushing the panic button, even if they lose this game, but they're not pushing the panic button in this game. It's still early. There's still a lot of time. Remember, they're playing at home. They have an overwhelming win record here at home. They feel very comfortable, and they still have a lot of those pieces that won them multiple championships on this team.
Yes, sir, they do. They hand it off here out of split backs. That's going to pick up, they say it's 3 yards, a very generous 3 yards, as they just inch closer towards at least putting something on the board as a field goal. 2nd and 7.
And you talked to T-Pat, he told us that, they didn't like those interceptions they had in week 1. They were going to tamper those down a bit, and maybe that means running the ball a little bit more.
They will throw here on the swing pass, almost broken up, but somehow finds a connection. That kind of lucky there that play went through. That was a throw to number 45. Number 45 for Baltimore is one of their backup players.
Well, that was all because of the really short drop, and then the backup player, I suppose, there on the route got stumbled a bit, and that's what resulted in what was a near turnover.
Well, here's a roll out of bunch. That was almost caught, almost a one-handed catch there, but well defended by Mexico City, bringing up the momentum from the previous offensive drive into this defensive stop.
Yeah, and I'm putting that one on Jack Whitmore, the quarterback. Just give his receiver an opportunity to catch the ball, but Chima there had to try to one-hand it in and just got a defender in his chest for his troubles.
So we see here the punting unit once again for the 3rd time for Baltimore in 4 drives, as that one other drive was a pick, and it doesn't even stop, inside the 10. It rolls into the end zone. That's a touchback, giving Mexico City extra yardage. They're going to start at the 20.
Yeah, special teams not doing them any favors there by pinning them deep, and now they're just really giving Mexico City a much better opportunity to put even more points on the board.
Offset eye here for Jordan Sapp and company. They're going to move the fullback to the other side, making it a weak side spread here. It's going to be a run, dive down the middle. Bentley picks up 4 yards, they say. And it's just good, solid running here for Mexico City.
And then that motion, essentially trying to draw some defense away from the middle of the defense. That way they know they're going to run that open lane down the A-gap there. So, again, there's a game within the game that's going on behind the scenes.
Morrison in the backfield. It's going to be a handoff to him. Morrison trying to find the first down. No. Picks up 1 yard, they'll say. Looks like a bit more than 1 yard, but Mexico City's going to settle for 3rd and 5 here, and going to be passing here most likely. Third and 5. We are at the 25-yard line. Mexico City has been very good so far on third down. We have the offset eye here. Syke, the throw, deep step back to the middle. God! Terrazas is gone! Nobody to catch him! What is going on with Baltimore's defense? They've allowed 21 straight points in one quarter.
Well, that's just absolutely a play by one of the top wide receivers in the game. It's one-on-one. Terrazas against Giovanni Bolt, one of the best safeties in the SFL for a long time. And Bolt just tries to undercut the route, tries to grab the ball for the interception. They need big plays. This defense is pressed into trying to get a stop here. Bolt might have just overplayed his defensive position just a bit. And Terrazas comes away with the ball, and it's nothing but daylight to the end zone.
Kick is good. Extra point is good. A 1 minute yard that went for 1 minute drive going for 70 yards. And they're pouring on the stats sheet. 329 total yards for Mexico. Average yards per play 10.3. Look at that comparison at the top of your screen, folks. This has been one-sided so far.
Yeah, an absolute clinic on how to play Baltimore in Baltimore. I mean, if you're going to play them this season, take some notes, but they're making it look so easy, Mark. That's the thing. The Aztecs, they're just making it look too easy. And that's something that if you're Baltimore, or a fan of Baltimore, that's what you're most worried about. You know, we saw a big back and forth in the first quarter. Now suddenly in the second quarter, the tops just come off this defense, and Mexico City's doing everything that they want.
As you hear, Baltimore can answer as the first half comes to its close. It's a 2-minute warning here. On the first down in the pass, Jack Wigmore unable to connect to his man. He's now down to a 50% completion rate in 14 attempts.
Yeah, and look, and as the score is so lopsided at this point, you know they're going to, especially in the second half, they're going to need Wigmore, and they're going to need his arm to get back into this game.
Mexico only rushed 3, but still deflected on the pass as Wigmore unable to connect with Jackson Roberts, the second tight end in this roster.
I don't even think Jackson Roberts was the target there. I think Roberts actually ran in front of the pass. Again, two receivers in the same area, bunching all of those defenders, and I think that's why the ball just kind of binged off the back of his shoulder pads. He wasn't necessarily the intended target there.
Here comes the bunch play rollout once again. Throw to the middle. That is deflected, almost picked as Mexico City's defenders put a traffic jam. Second time I'm using that word, but that's just how you can best describe that situation.
And Fowler, one of the best linebackers in this league. I think they've keyed up. They know when that bunch play comes up, they're looking for that rollout, and they kind of know where it's going to go or where it wants to go. And they put their defenders in perfect spot there. Fowler able to knock it away, almost came away with it.
Punt will be stopped and, brought down at the 32-yard line. That's where Mexico City's going to start their potential final drive of the first half. And folks, if you've been liking this game, boy, hit that like button. It's been a minute, and we hope you haven't forgotten. It's super simple to smash the like button and help the channel out. We just crossed the 8,500 subscriber mark, so subscribe if you already have, or if you already have not, so you'll never miss a live stream, highlight, or podcast. Thanks for your support of the Virtual Football Network and the Simulation Football League. First down and 10 at the 32-yard line. Bentley breaking ankles and breaking soles as he brings forth another huge first down.
And it's in that bunch formation, running behind the trio of receivers. Those receivers do an excellent job of blocking up for Bentley. And again, Mark, we've talked about if you can break that first tackle, it typically results in a big running play. And there, Bentley able to get away from that first tackle attempt and that first tackler. And we're starting now to see the Bentley show that we were promised in the pregame a bit by Mike Daggs coming to fruition here.
That is true. Another pitch play here. Morrison, sidestepping. Morrison is putting on Bentley impersonation, picking up another first down. Mexico City is now basically have run 10 miles in Baltimore turf.
I'd love to see that agility, that first move there, like we typically see the shoulder charge, the arm bar to get them, get them open like that. Bentley's had a couple loops and break tackles that way, but man, that agility of Morrison to go in and out like that, you'd love to see it.
Bentley picking up where they left off, 5 yards, 2nd and 5, and this running game for Mexico City seemingly unstoppable, except for the occasional, 1-yard tackle for loss. But besides that, 5 yards, 10 yards. We'll see here with the offset eye here. It's going to be a pass to the outside this time. A rare incompletion, but looking for Bill Henry for the first miss towards his way.
It looked like either a corner route or maybe an out route there that Henry was on, but just too many defenders there and getting in his way. And this quarterback is not afraid to attack tight windows, and obviously was trying to hit a bit of a home run there.
Here we go now in 3rd and 5. 2 seconds left in the second quarter, and it's good. That's Bartley, I believe, or it might be Bartley with a catch. Looks like it was number 10.
Yeah.
Don't get a replay, but that was a good catch nonetheless.
And that was in a lot of traffic, and I think it's just everything Mexico City wants to do, they're able to do right now. Just in critical situations, they're completing those passes. They're getting past the tight coverage. It's not mattering at this moment.
Deep step back by side. Here comes the pressure, and finally the Baltimore defense gets home with a sack. What a play. That's going to bring them backwards a little further away, making it the more uncomfortable field goal here, but still within field goal range. Going to go for one more pass attempt here before kicking. 3-4 wide out, 3 on one side here with a single back for Jordan Saib. Short step back. Will throw to the corner. Oh, no, DeRozas, you're a filthy man. How did you catch that? Same formation, they're going to go in a hurry up here. Short step back here again to the corner route. Oh, Steven DeRozas smelled the touchdown there.
Well, this entire offense did, going no huddle, running down the field quickly, wanted to take advantage of something in the Baltimore defense there on the right-hand side. Clearly, they thought they could get in the end zone. But, man, they're trying to really put the foot on the throat here of Baltimore and get in his end zone.
Here comes the pressure, side goes down again. Third and goal, and with no timeout, they hurry up back to the line here.
They want it.
Gonna try one more shot. They do want it. Throw, corner, end zone, nothing. Nothing
Good
was
job
there.
on Baltimore's defense.
Wow.
Yeah, just excellent job. I mean, look, they are under so much pressure, being down the way that they are, and all these no huddles right up in the red zone. They are putting, I mean, look, Mexico City could sense it, right? Even though we're just at the end of the second quarter, they could sense this is the moment that they could possibly go ahead and put this game away, which is crazy to think in this matchup as we were coming in. Still getting 3 points, though, Mark.
That is true. They're getting 3 points here. As Mexico City is putting the hurt here in Baltimore tonight. Mind you, in this matchup, the largest margin of victory between these two teams was 28 points, but Steven, that was all the way back in season 12. In the 2K4 era, neither team has won over the other by more than 14 points. Mexico City is saying, well, we can do ourselves better. They're now up 27-0.
Well, I don't have to remind people that are watching, but if you can score 27 points in the first half, the other team can score just as many or more in the second. So this game is far from over. I know we're talking really in a way that we're almost like ending the game here in the first half, but anything can happen any given Saturday, right? This could be the greatest turnaround that we've ever seen, and Baltimore would be the team to do it. So although they're down 27-0, and there may be a lot of televisions out there that are clicking off or clicking away, don't discount what Baltimore has done and the historic team that they have been. They can absolutely get back into this game. We just have to see something more marked than what we've seen so far.
That is true. They also got to stay clean and basically play mistake-free football, but maybe not if sacks here come up plenty. Mexico City extending the pain from their offense to their defense.
Yeah, and look, it's just Wigmore now. I think obviously this entire offense is feeling the pressure, right? They've got to put points on the board. If they can do so here before the end of the first half, that is optimum, but they're just not going to have the opportunity.
And folks, what an electric first half we've had. If at the first quarter you thought this was going to be a barn burner of a game, you were mistaken. Mexico City up 27-0. Steven, tell me what your thoughts are to this game so far and why Mexico City has been dominated.
Well, as you mentioned in the first quarter, it didn't seem like either team was going to dominate offensively. There was a defensive slugfest to start this game out. Mexico City able to really squeeze out just 3 points. And then the second quarter came, and it was an all-out explosion by this Mexico offense. The defense that we had seen from Baltimore just disappeared. And Mexico City on the opposite end, their defense just continued to limit Baltimore in everything that they were doing. And so far, it has been the Terraza show. As you can see, 170 yards off 6 catches and a touchdown. Throw in Bentley for another touchdown. And Bill Henry as well. I mean, it has just been a show offensively for Mexico City. And then don't take away what their defense has done. Blanked Baltimore here in their own house.
Welcome back to Sports Gamers Online Stadium here in Baltimore. Check out sportsgamersonline.com or check them out on YouTube and see why millions visit their website and YouTube channel. And I gotta agree to every point you mentioned there, Steven. It's just that Mexico City doing everything right, essentially, in Baltimore not having any answers for them so far. I mean, those passes, a lot of them were in single coverage, potentially only a one deep safety in the middle, and Mexico City feasting on those deep passes. Baltimore here trying to come back in the 27 hole, and they're going to start with a nice completion, bringing them up all the way to their 37-yard line. We have a game update from Cameron. Cam, what do you have there in the other game?
Thank you, Mark. It took a while for Oklahoma City to get going, but King Jackson with a laser right on the goal line to Stephen McMichaels. Oklahoma City's on the board, but Detroit has the lead, 13-7 over the Renegades late in the first half. Back to you.
Looking like a much closer game there on the other block. Here we have Baltimore trying to engineer the greatest comeback in SFL history, potentially. Short pass down the middle. Actually, this is the bread and butter that I missed from them in the first half, Steven. The pair slot, tight end, hot route to the middle. It's nearly almost 100% completion rate, and they show it here for the first time in the second half.
Yeah, and this quarterback, Wigmore's got great short area accuracy, and you see a lot of those really short drops from him and him being accurate with the ball. Here they're going to run it for the first down.
They do. It's the first down and more, and Warren Murray picking up a first down for his team, only his sixth attempt of the game. And Baltimore will try to win the play here with speed, with less than 24 minutes to play in regulation, or 20 minutes to play in regulation. Wigmore with a rollout and throws to nowhere.
Yeah, trying to find Ivory Irving in the middle of the field there in a sea of white jerseys. But look, how do you come back from 27-0 here in the third quarter? How do you eat an elephant? It's just one bite at a time, and that's what Baltimore is, just steadily moving the ball down the field. This is what they need, and they need to make these first down conversions one bite at a time.
Pressure's coming, and that will carry over the ball. How is this a completion? I want to see a replay of this, Steven. What the heck?
Yeah, I think it hit 3 hands before it landed to the receiver's breadbasket there. That was wow. I mean, look, in order to make this kind of a comeback, you're going to need plays like that to go your way.
Maybe that's a sign. Maybe that's a sign that this comeback is going to happen as Wigmore throws. It's caught again. Oh, it's
wow.
Not. I thought it was caught. Steven, I thought it was a second miracle in the same drive.
I saw John Fowler tip that ball again. Fowler's been in perfect position on a lot of those bunch rollouts to knock the ball away. And I saw the tip, and I thought, no way. There's no way they're completing it. And as you said, he nearly came away with it. But here we are again, Mark. 3 and out. Not enough 3 and out, but just outside of field goal range. And now Baltimore again's got a punt.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seems like the story of this game has been Baltimore. Ooh, huge hit there on the punt coverage. But Baltimore, they can put in yards. They can get into Mexico City's side of the field, but for some reason or the other, they just stop at the 40-yard line of Mexico and run out of juice, and Mexico City has the ball back, and they have plenty of juice.
Hey, just a lot of unfortunate events, combining back to back to back for them, but let's not discount what the Aztecs are doing defensively. They're doing an outstanding job.
First down here, going to be a handoff to Bentley, a 1-yard pickup, they say. And when we're talking to Coach Dags of Mexico City, he's pointing out how, one of the challenges coaching against Baltimore is how much Baltimore likes to do their homework, and I agree with that, but it looks like on the field, Mexico City is the one who has done their homework on all fronts, defense and offense, and it's paying off here. Second down here. Going to be a completion to the outside. That's Noah Terrazas once again, almost unfailing, picking up 8 yards for the team.
Yeah, Mark, and I don't think that this game necessarily is this outcome or this early lead, big lead by Mexico is necessarily because one team didn't do their homework or not. I think we've seen a lot of great individual plays. And a guy like Terrazas or a Bentley has broken a tackle, or Terrazas has made a move, as you said, in that one-on-one coverage that if that's picked off, that might be pick six the other way. Instead, Terrazas is able to come away with the ball and duck under, make some moves, and get in the end zone. So, again, as a coach, there's only so much study. There's only so much game planning you can do. And then really it's about putting your players in positions to win and to benefit off those plays. And then it's up to the player and their abilities and their progression and the things they decide to do that really kind of determine the outcome of those plays.
First and 10 here after that great run by Buford Van Dam is Mexico City engaging everyone in this roster. A handoff by Bentley to the outside. Breaks one tackle before being brought down by a 1-yard gain here. And Steven, you're talking about how, coaches can definitely, there's only so much they can do and put their players in the best position to score. So I guess my next question would be, does that mean that Mexico City's roster is just that much leagues ahead than this Baltimore roster, assuming playbooks are equal?
Yeah, and the fact is they're not equal. We know that for a fact. But, and we know that the earlier that we are into the season, the less alike these teams are. It seems like once these teams go into the season, their players have progressed and practiced and kind of gotten to their highest of their abilities towards the end of the season. Then I think that's where the playbooks come a little bit more as far as impactful into what happened on the field. But here early on, the rosters are so different and somewhat depleted or added in certain areas with free agents or, whatever is happening with the player and their builds and things like that. It's a little bit more sporadic. So, again, I don't think, let's mention that. That's a monster sack there.
That ends the drive right there. Out of field goal range, too.
Yeah, Nate Brown does a good job of just coming around. And look, the offensive lineman guard doesn't even get a chance to put a hand on him. But yeah, and look, that's what we need. That's what we needed to see. I mean, now we've got, I think, our first punt from Mexico City since the first quarter, if I remember right. So, but no, Mark, to go back to what you're saying, I just think, again, I don't think it's a failing in the coaching or the game planning necessarily. That it's just some of these players are just built differently at this point of the season. And some of them are, I have a theory myself, Mark, that some players on particular days, they just get hot for one reason or another. You just got a player who plays out of their mind. You haven't seen it all season. You might not see it the rest of the season, but for one particular game, maybe it's home cooking, maybe something good happened in their life. Who knows what happened? But they just play out of their minds. And Terrazas, I think tonight might be one of those players.
Fortunate for Mexico City, Noe Terrazas lighting it up on fire isn't a one in a season occurrence. It's almost a weekly occurrence for them.
Yeah,
Here's
that's true.
first and down here, 3-yard gain here for Baltimore. As you look at even the total yards comparison, 175 to 406. They have to start loading up their deep pass plays or something electric to essentially, either bring back momentum or believe that this game is still within reach.
Yeah, and also, once you install a game plan too, Mark, and you know this, sometimes it takes a lot to break them from that game plan. They just,
True.
even though it seems obvious to us, those watching at home, that, man, now's the time to air it out. Let's go. Let's just try to gamble it all. That's not what they came into this week doing, and that's not necessarily what the playbook that they have designed is designed to do.
Totally agree with that. And in fact, we'll see here how much more of the actual design of the playbook is going to do for Baltimore. But again, that play, it's almost night and day. Whenever one team uses that specific rollout for Mexico, Steven, it seems like it's working well. Baltimore, not quite as much.
Well, that goes to entirely. I give that entire credit to Ramos Lynn, the defensive coordinator. Brody was there. Brody didn't even have to put his hands up. Brody was just in a position with his hands down so the ball hit him in the head. His helmet is what deflected the ball. If you, as a defensive coordinator, can put your player in such good position that they don't have to physically move to stop a pass, that's amazing. That's amazing. I think he'd probably say that was lucky, but based on what your defense is doing tonight, buddy, that ain't luck. You're a three-time champion for a reason, my friend, and a good example of it right there.
And he also, at some point, got to credit the scouting of Mexico City, because that's a level of confidence in the play that you're expecting Baltimore to try to, put out at third and long. To know that they're going to go to it every single time and just install that specific defense against it. That's a lot of both scouting as well as just gutsy, a hard soul read, essentially.
Yeah, and Mark, let's not forget, these two teams, they're chock full of veterans of this game, and not just playing on the field, but in the coaching staff and in the front office and ownership. These guys have been around a long time. They've played each other 15 times throughout the years. They know each other really well. And again, they played twice last season, splitting that series. And none of those games looked like this.
Deep throw to Bill Henry once again to complete the third down. What a route. This corner route to Bill Henry here is thrown to the outside. Look at that route, wide open, nowhere close, not even deep. There didn't even seem to be like deep coverage above Bill Henry. He could have broken out for another touchdown.
And look, as an offensive coordinator, I think I can speak for Mike Daggs. Daggs will tell me if it's different or not, but I feel like sometimes in these kind of games where your offense is doing so well, you want to bottle it up, right? You don't want to spend it all the magic in this one game. You want to bottle it up so you can use it later, because you would love your offense to look like this and perform like this with their defense right in connection with it, blanking the other side. Like you'd want this, bottle this up for the rest of the season, but in upcoming games it's not going to be this way.
First down here, pitch play, defended well this time by Baltimore, and we're going to see another third line here, and if they convert this, they're going to be the amount of time of possession that they have advantage over Baltimore. So far, 15 and a half minutes for Mexico City, 10 minutes for Baltimore. That was before this drive even started, so they're looking at almost a 7-minute time of possession difference. Here's third and long. Jordan side with a very deep step back. Almost tipped by Baltimore and harmlessly falls to the ground. Another punt in back-to-back offensive series for Mexico City. So, silver lining, Baltimore has only yielded 3 points here in the third quarter.
Yeah, the defense has done its job. Nice job there by outside linebacker Jeff Melanesian to to get a big paw on that ball to knock it down, and a good third down stop. And like, if you're looking for some gems that you can kind of pull away from this game, if you're Baltimore, definitely this defense in the second half has done what they've needed to do. It's just the offense hasn't responded in kind.
You're watching Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN will feature SFL Week 3 action today and tomorrow Sunday, the UFL Monday and Wednesday, and the SFL in Week 4 Friday. No other network gives you more football. The SFL lives on VFN. Here's Baltimore Jack Wigmore, short pass to the outside. That's a good pickup of 5 yards, and you got about a minute here to go in the third quarter. I just want to point out, prior to this game, we talked to Mexico City coach Mike Daggs and asking about whether this game was going to be dedicated to someone, and he brought up that this game is going to be dedicated to the father of Sir Ron Yates, current Aztec on the defensive line, former Vulture, as Sir Ron Yates' father passed away on the 18th, is being laid to rest tonight, and it's a very special game. This game is for him and his father, and at least so far defensively, whatever they put up for the defense is in great honor for his dad.
Yeah, heart goes out to Saran and your family, and as a completed pass there. I know that we're talking about this here, but as someone who lost his mother not that long ago and was able to dedicate my season, last season, to her, I'm sure Saran and this group here in Mexico City are doing the same. And our thoughts and our prayers are with you, my friend, and I hope that you said and did everything and that you wanted to with your father before his passing. And I pray that you get through this time. That's a grieving time, but realizing it and seeing all the love that's around you, and you're surrounded by a lot of people who love you and your family and remember your father fondly.
And the third quarter has concluded here in Baltimore. The score is 27-0 in favor of Mexico. Everybody put up your fours. It is the fourth quarter. We're going to take a very short moment of silence in prayer for the father of Sir Ron Yates, who is being laid to rest tonight. And we are back in a very special game for one of the Mexico City's defensive linemen. Baltimore, though, they're saying, we're not done and out. You guys are talking about the other team blowing us out. We're going to still put up a fight here in Wigmore. Look at this beautiful pass to the out route on his receiver in double coverage, essentially. Makes a nice completion.
Yeah, starting to see some signs of life from this Baltimore offense on the deeper end of things. You know, they've been rather conservative, and I know that the fans watching this have certainly wanted them to test the waters deep a little bit more. Maybe they're starting to do that here.
Handoff down the middle. That's going to pick up about 3 yards. Little stats update here. Baltimore's running offense on the ground. They've amassed about 50 yards or so on the ground in 13 carries. Johnny Kim with a singular quarterback carry, compared to Mexico, who is now over 100 yards rushing on the ground. What a rushing display by them. 101 for them, mostly by Ray Bentley, who has 65 yards in 13 attempts and a touchdown on the ground.
Yeah, and I would expect now, being in the fourth quarter, we're going to see a lot of Bentley here to end this game and try to salt things away and run that clock. So I think Bentley's numbers here, I would expect him probably to get closer to the century mark as we go on.
Wigmore lining up in the quads formation, probably for the first time tonight, and throws to Irvin with a nice catch. That is only the fourth reception to Ivory Irvin in twice as many targets here, but still nice catch on the crosser route.
Yeah, and you know, maybe that was one of the keys that they needed to try to do, is try to get these receivers more involved. They have tried to get it to Irvin, as you mentioned, thrown to him so far 8 times. but only able to bring in 3 of those. So again, we're seeing the results of the Mexico City defense just doing a great job defending it.
Pressure's coming, but blocked well in a completion. Wow. Okay, in this drive alone, Wigmore has turned the switch on. It may be too late a hero, but it is a switch turned on nonetheless, and a great play by Baltimore's offense.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about Terrasses a lot in this game, and I'm sure that those other wide receivers there, the Irvings and the Chimas and the Narrows, they're wanting that opportunity on their side as well.
Pressure is there, and it hits Wigmore. That throw looked scary as it left his hand there.
Yeah, we talked about Saron Yates, you know, and obviously the passing of his father was tragic, and dedicating this game to him. But Saron Yates in himself could make some history here. He's only 3 away from 100 sacks in his career. So, you know, the way that this defensive line is attacking, wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't get his name called here soon.
Wigmore to throw to the outside, wide open. Benji Matson 2 yards away from the touchdown, saved by Jeffrey Daggs. He said, "I'm not allowing a touchdown in," well, I was about to say in my field, but it's Baltimore's field.
I mean, look at the size difference. That's why Jeffrey Daggs is a Hall of Famer, right? We saw a play like that happen last week at Oklahoma City, where a fullback just nailed the defender and got into the end zone after shoulder charging him. That's absolutely what Matson probably thought he was going to do, but not to Jeffrey Daggs, despite the size difference.
Pass and first down at the 2-yard line. Throw to the outside. He breaks the tackle and he's in. Warren Murray puts Baltimore's first points on the board with a nifty swing pass.
Wow. That's just, again, we talked about the elephant to be eaten, right? You needed to take some small bites. This is probably the type of offensive series we needed to see in the third quarter to really make a significant impact, but still, you don't have the goose egg up, right? If you're Baltimore, you've got to take the wins where you can get them in this game. That's looking dour for you. And so, hey, that's a big win that your offense actually could put things together, gives you a little hope, gives you a little tape, and maybe some of the things you can do right in the next game.
12-play, about 3-minute yard drive culminates in a swing pass touchdown to Warren Murray. What a drive by Baltimore, who is essentially beaten down in this game, but not out there, not out in spirit and in, drive, essentially, putting up 7 points on the board. Mexico City is now in Operation Burn Clock.
Those are game producers there. Cameron Irvine put the stat up for us there. But this is the 201st Baltimore game to be played, and they have never been shut out. And that touchdown there allows that streak, that impressive streak, to continue.
Mexico City, pitch to the outside. That pitch to the outside has been working wonders for them. And it must be something that they saw in Sims and scouting, and they stuck to it. It's 2nd and 5. And you mentioned there, Steven, it's going to be the Ray Bentley show the rest of the way. And it sure looks like it. We'll see here in this Ajax formation. This could even be a fullback down.
There you go. Good call. Tony Romo-esque call there by Mark. Yeah, down the middle. And again, it just makes sense, right? You're just, at this point, you're not trying to humiliate other teams. You're just trying to march down the field, get those first down, let this clock run, and take the victory where you can. Still got 7 minutes left in this game, Mark. I'm not totally sure that we should just be running the ball even on 3rd and longs, but
I also doubt that they're going to see 3rd and longs the way they've been running the ball, which is relentless. Bentley once again with 4 yards here. The previous play by Buford Van Dam, only the 2nd carry of the game, but already 2 first downs and 2 carries. He has been extremely productive tonight.
Don't forget, they'll run that quarterback too.
That's true. We haven't seen Sipe run the ball at all. It has been those halfbacks and the singular fullback all night. We see here the 3rd and 5. They're likely going to throw out of this with 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, that's true. I'd be surprised if they did run the ball, but that could be the point. Try to surprise that defense.
But they will pass here out of the triple formation, down the middle, and this time overthrows the receiver. Sut trying to force it downfield for potentially another huge gain. And Baltimore City finally clamping down. 3 straight punts forced against Mexico.
Yeah, that's just kind of been a rarity for us to see them not complete one of those passes, but give a lot of credit to Elijah Warfield there, able to clamp down on the receiver and not allow him to get open.
And ladies and gentlemen, I'm a man of stats. I like stats and trends and numbers, and we get the stat sheet. Credit to Ramos Lynn and Justin Reside on the stat sheet, providing live stats to us, making us look smarter in the booth. But look at the drive summary here, Steven. In the second quarter alone, Mexico City touchdown, Baltimore punt. Mexico City touchdown, Baltimore punt. Mexico touchdown, Baltimore punt. Mexico field goal, Baltimore to end the half. And then this third quarter, punt by both teams.
And it tells you.
Point flip.
Yeah, it tells you what one quarter of explosion can do. It really put this game away relatively early on. You know that from last week in Vancouver's win against Baltimore, where in the third quarter, you guys exploded to a 34-10 lead by the end of that third quarter, despite only being up 7 at halftime. So one quarter can really win you a game. Obviously, this one still got just under 6 minutes to go left in it. But if it goes as we think it's going to go, it's going to be a victory for Mexico City. But again, the first quarter and the third quarter, very similar in this game. Not either, a big defensive slugfest for both teams in both of those quarters. It was just the second quarter where Mexico City's offense went wild. I mean, literally went wild.
Yeah, it was probably. It's probably a more accurate statement to say it was the Noe Terrazas quarter. He was everywhere that quarter. But meanwhile, look at this play by Chima. What a play by Baltimore, finding the wide open receiver downfield. We were hoping to see more of these all game, but they finally bring it out here on the field in the fourth quarter, and what a great look. Ooh.
Yeah, and that's what really needed to happen in this game, finding those key receivers wide open like that. When you can scheme that open, that's wonderful. He just hasn't been open very much. None of these receivers for Baltimore have been that open, as we've seen there. 6 attempts to get him the ball, and that was only his second catch.
Well, broken tackle, and look at that. Some solid running, this time by T-Roy Gaines. Only his 7th carry of the game, going to add 5 to that for a total of 29 yards in 6 carries.
And we thought it was going to be a big game for T-Roy Gaines, but the way the momentum shifted in that second quarter, it kind of leaned, the offense seemed to lean away from him as they tried to get these receivers more involved.
If it's set to your fullback carry, Mexico City previous drive, but here we go again, same formation. What are they going to do? Be a handoff this time. It's a throw. Interesting call here, and it's good to the tight end, Benji Matson. They're going to line up here again. They really like this formation. Interesting. Fullback carry once again. No pass. It is inside the 4 minutes or 5 minutes, and it is no wonder that they're in hurry-up mode now.
Yeah, but I think a blessing there actually to get out of that particular formation and to try to spread things out a little bit, although it was successful in making that conversion and kind of a little bit of a Hail Mary pass in order to make that conversion happen, which was nice.
It's true. They will line up now in their triple formation. 3 wideouts and a tight end, motioning. That's not Benji Matson, but that's the other tight end in the roster. But throwing to the middle, that is, almost got by Chima. But Chima got hit and the ball got jarred loose.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not easy for them to forget on the field, but it might be easy for us to forget. There's some monsters back there in that secondary. So they will deliver some big hits back there. Despite the size difference, it doesn't really matter, as we've seen Jeffrey Daggs come up with a big tackle here recently. So, these guys, despite the lead, they're still playing hard.
Throw to the outside. Ooh, Benji Madsen was in good stride, kind of open to catch that, but incomplete.
I think you got to go for it here. 4th down, this side of the field.
Mm-hmm.
This is your best chance. This is your best chance to put some significant points on the board here.
Baltimore trying to keep this drive alive and make this less of a blow than it already is. Quads look here. Wigmore with a deep step back. That is good. That is a nice short route by Chima once again from the slot spot. Same formation in the hurry up here. Wigmore, deep step back again to Chima. Chima almost had that. He basically had his mitts in the ball, but the ball in his mitts.
I'd want that. Boy, if you're going to run a formation, that quads formation on the no huddle, that seemed to work really well. And even that pass, I thought it was a good route and a good location there for the ball for Wigmore. I'd be running that again.
We go offset eye here. Still speed wide outs in the tight end. Benji Madsen perhaps going to be a big target here. Everyone's running vertical routes, but throws to the outside here, as that is Irvin picking up a first down and stopping the clock here. So 2 things good done by Wigmore and Irvin.
Yes, yeah, and that's just a veteran doing veteran things, right? Seeing that he's probably not going to make it in the end zone, let's make sure we get the first down, and let me go ahead and stop this clock. If I can get in the end zone, maybe put the ball right over the pylon, let's do that. But maybe it's just more important at this point, let's just stop the clock, give our opportunity to the offense to get 4 chances to get it in.
And look at this. At some point, Baltimore only had like 170 to 300 yards by Mexico, and they throw a pick to end this drive. They throw the pick in traffic. Hands on the stands, they're not happy, understandably. What happened here, Steven?
Is that the Baltimore had an opportunity on the outside. They looked like the Mexico City was kind of in a bear or a goal line formation, and they had everybody stacked on the inside, and your quarterback throws inside, and that's just that's not where the mismatches were. They were on the outside. He needed to throw it out to the receivers who were in one-on-one coverage out there.
Mexico here is going to hand off to Buford Van Dam, who, well, because it is at the 10 yards to go, won't get the first down, but it is a sign of things to come for the rest of this 4 minutes of play.
Yeah, I mean, and this is the time that really now I think we're going to see Bentley and Morrison and the fullback here, and even maybe the quarterback. You know, they're going. You know, Van Dam might be an opportunity to shine here. If they can really get this first down, they can really put this game away.
2nd and 8, inside their 10-yard line. I have a suspicion this might be a pass here. No, it's a pitch. Oh, nice pitch here, but Bentley is unfortunately tackled for a yard loss. It is 3rd and 10. And Baltimore, you know, if they can pin them here deep in their end zone or near their end zone, they can maybe force a punt that is favorable to them.
You're right. Gives them really great field position. Let's point out, though, Alvin Mack, the linebacker, a terrific job making that tackle in the backfield. Alvin Mack was all over the field in week 1. An absolute defensive stud for Baltimore, and I'd hope we call his name a little bit more tonight, but there shines at a critical moment.
All the way down to the 2-second counter, and Baltimore will only allow a 2-yard carry. Mexico will punt from a line of scrimmage inside their 10-yard line. They're going to bring out their punter, who's going to be punting from their end zone here. They're going to take it down all the way as much clock as they can burn here.
Right, yeah, letting that clock run.
Look at this, way in their end zone. Fortunate enough that the line of scrimmages gives him room to kick still. We'll see where this is a decent punt nonetheless. Wow. Returned by Chima into the, I'd say, 43-yard line of Mexico. 2 minutes to go for a 43-yard drive to put maybe 7 points on the board.
Yeah, pretty pretty good punt of a guy that's standing in the back of his end zone, to try and get that one away, and a decent return. But again, just giving Baltimore now another opportunity. Look, they were knocking on the door. They had 4 chances an opportunity at least to have 4 chances to get in the end zone right on near the goal line, and through that unfortunate pick, and which bothered them. Picks have bothered them here through the first part of this season.
Throw to the out route. That was a similar out route to Chima that got them the first down into 1st and goal, but this time rushed a bit on that pass. Chima unable to get to the apex of his route.
You're right about that being rushed a bit. Yeah, the quarterback threw it earlier than he wanted to. Despite Chima having a step in front of the defender, the pass was rushed.
So now with 4 wideouts, Wigmore will throw down the middle, and this time collected by Matt Chima. Will pick up a huge first down. They will call their first timeout. They got 2 timeouts to go. They really want to put 7 more on the board here.
Yeah, at this point of the game, you got to credit players like Chima putting his body on the line when there really isn't much at stake at this point in the game other than just professional pride and playing at home in front of your home fans. But he got laid out to make that catch.
That's true. The hospital pass. Here's a pass. Oh, Chima caught it. What a play in one go. It's a touchdown.
We talked about playmakers like Terrazas in this game, just making plays one-on-one against the defender. Here, Chima actually able to catch the ball in front of the defender and then scoot out of the tackle. I know it's at the end of this game. It's kind of a lost game, but still, these playmakers, they have the ability to make these plays despite whatever the scoreboard says. And this is something we could have seen from this team this entire game. Just unfortunate it comes at this point.
It was one of the smoothest plays. It was a simple go route by Chima, but whether it was, Wigmore being pressured, still lets the ball go, still throws a beautiful rainbow. Let's see how this onside kick will transpire first here, as this is probably their only chance left. Recovered by Baltimore.
Oh, Mark, did we call this too early, Mark? What's going on here?
Well, Baltimore says that's enough trash talking against our team. They still got their 2 timeouts. I know they're inside their own territory here, but they are in full hurry-up mode here. This is the formation where Irvin got a huge catch downfield.
Yes.
For the touchdown. Sorry, that was Chima with the touchdown, but see, that's the play. That's Chima down on some go route. Just throw it to him.
And I think everybody was on the go route. This is kind of one of those things where you throw the playbook out and you're like, let's throw it in the dirt. Everybody go long, and I'll just find the guy that's open and throw it to him. And it's been Chima on this particular formation. And I mean, all of a sudden, Mark, these receivers are getting hot.
Yeah, every kid's dream in playing quarterback. Go long. Ooh. But this time, nobody there. I think everybody got tied up on their crosser routes and nothing doing.
Exactly right. That cross, just what it did was it did leave one of the receivers open. Unfortunately, the guy that was on the corner route is, I think, Chima, the one that the quarterback really just had his eye on. And for obvious reasons, he's playing out of his mind right now.
Wigmore to throw. Again down the middle. Again back Chima. He has come alive. This is the final timeout. But this is not the final light of the fire left in Wigmore and Chima's soul here. Here once again inside the red zone.
Are we going to see this quad formation again? We know we're going to go no huddle. No, it's not. It's going to be triple.
It's a triple. Out route to Irvin, perhaps, as we saw in the previous drive. No. Oh, close. It is Chima, though, on the post route. We're up to 15 targets.
That stops the clock, Mark.
Can you believe it? They're now basically equal as far as total yardage gained throughout the game. 421 to 451. Quads look again as everyone running go routes. Oh, they are, but nobody there to catch the ball.
I think, Mark, maybe we're running out of space for that go route play. Oh gosh, it's overthrown there. Nobody impacted the route, so that is just
True.
a clear overthrow. But if he just taps that down just a bit, that's a touchdown. And then all of a sudden, Mark, we're talking about a major comeback here. Goodness gracious! Call the wives, call the children, call the friends. You might have to get them back into this game.
Yeah, everyone's already, half a block away from the stadium. Tell everyone to turn their cars around. 27-14, minute and a half to go. Wigmore tipped. This is the final chance for them to make the best story probably in SFL regular season history.
And that's that dang corner route again. And they had actually motioned away one of the receivers on that side, leaving it one-on-one. But Mexico City has been good about defending those corner routes. Fourth down here. Gotta have this one.
Once again, everyone knows where this is leading to, but can they complete the play? Pressure, out route, deflected. It was thrown to that go route, but who else? That was number 39 on the Mexico City defense. Let me just pull his name here. Number 39, quarterback Merrick Itera with a great coverage play.
And you know what I think killed Baltimore on that? The quarterback just hesitated for just a fraction of a second. I'm not sure if he had pressure in his face or he just waiting for the receiver to get open. But I think just that little hesitation allowed the defense to clamp down just a little bit more. But boy, that was exciting right there, Mark.
We were at the cusp here of seeing 27-21 with a minute to go and an onside kick pending. Instead, Mexico City's defense, especially Merrick Itera, locks in and holds a defensive stop to end the game. What a matchup this has been a roller coaster of emotion.
Look at the yardage, Mark. The yardage is almost equal. And it was so lopsided for much of this game. Now, you can attribute some of that to garbage time and Baltimore making a big push at the end, but they made those plays at the end. They made those plays that they needed to just even put the 14 up, but to be within one touchdown, one score, a touchdown to get this into a one-score game. So, I mean, for as lopsided as this game has been, it got a little bit tighter there at the end, and there was a very small window of opportunity that Baltimore had to potentially get back into this game, but just couldn't quite do it.
They couldn't quite do it, and Mexico City handled business up big and coasted the rest of the way for a 27-14 win on the road against a very tough Baltimore home team. What a showing. Steven, offensively, Mexico City showed up in second. Look at that. Scoreless in the second half. This is a very bizarre box sheet score to look at.
You're absolutely right. We talk about the difference one quarter can make. 24 points in the second quarter. Obviously, Terraces went off, Henry went off, Bentley went off. Those three names are the ones that really shined in that second quarter. But for much of the rest of the game, it felt like, especially in the second half, Mexico City had their foot off the gas pedal. They were running the ball more. They were trying to really salt the game away through the running game. And they were just so up by so much at halftime, 27-0. It didn't feel like they felt pressured. And look at Baltimore. They didn't do anything to make them feel pressured. Went scoreless through the first three quarters. And if I'm going to give my MVP of the game, I'm giving it to the defense of Mexico City. They just played outstanding ball, and they did that throughout the game. Despite the little explosion by Baltimore at the end, I think their defense was outstanding and really the main reason that Mexico City won this game on the road in a tough place to win, Baltimore.
Good choice. I would give mine to Jordan Saib. 2 touchdowns, 63% completion rate in 27 attempts, 345 yards for him. But that is all for us, folks. What a game it has been between these two juggernauts of teams. Thank you for joining us. We still have games tonight. Coming up in the next time block, we have games tomorrow as well. So stay tuned and don't lose us here in the SFL, here in the Virtual Football Network. Good night and see you soon.
Take it easy.